gamers, it's your boy Zero Ink, and I'm back with another Kickshot Angle discussion, and today I want to talk about Microsoft. And I want to talk about the cloud. There's a lot of speculation on what the cloud is actually doing, what it's going to be used for, all the things you can do with it, and to be honest, I think it's a step in the right direction of possibly some new technology, possibly offloading a lot of the work so that you can actually add more to your games and put more into your games. Now, first off, I'd like to clarify, if the technology seems to work, Sony can actually leverage that technology too. Xbox is not the only one who can leverage this technology. It's not patented just for Xbox. They're basically using their server farm to help close the gap with PlayStation, so to speak, in terms of graphic fidelity. And here's the thing. I'm not even sure the cloud is actually doing anything. Besides having the cloud for playing full games, the backwards compatibility, or streaming purposes and using the cloud for data saves, I don't see what the cloud is actually doing for these games. That's why I'm so skeptical. Because the destruction that we already possess in games like Red Faction, Just Cause 2, Battlefield even had some destruction. There's a lot of destruction that we already possess. So, to me, Crackdown 3 looks like the next logical step in the next generation of consoles. 20 times computational power, though, I don't see it. If that's all you were able to do with 20 times the computational power, I don't know. I could see it helping with frame rates, maybe, if you can offload some of the work, like what GPU does. When you take some of the load off the CPU and put it on the GPU instead, I understand that concept of offloading the work from the CPU to the GPU, but offloading the work to servers, I don't know if it's going to work, and I don't know what it's going to do for latency, and I don't know what it's going to do for frame rates, but I don't see it actually adding to the destruction. To me, it looks like they can already get that amount of destruction just with the consoles the way they are. I don't think the cloud is actually providing the destruction or allowing you to destroy more, smoothing out the frame rates, stuff like that. That's what I see offloading the work doing. I don't see it being something like, well, we can just do so much more than the PlayStation 4 can do now. And that's why I wanted to clarify for you guys, if the technology works, if Microsoft can find a way to make the technology work, there's no reason why Sony or Nintendo can't leverage that technology either. Not only that, another reason I'm skeptic about what the cloud is actually doing for Crackdown 3. Having a certain amount of servers doing certain things for certain games seems like a waste of servers to me. It seems so inefficient to buy servers just to add effects to games. I understand multiplayer servers. I understand having servers for certain things, but I don't understand why you would get a whole bunch of servers for a few games that are using the cloud. That's why I'm a little skeptic too. The way they were explaining it, where the collapse of each building was on different servers, that seems very inefficient, especially if you have 200 games, 10, 15, 20 servers working for each game. That seems absolutely expensive. I don't know, man, that's interesting to me. That seems to me like it would drive the price up on hardware, it would drive the price up on software, depending on how many servers they had to use for that particular game. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be clarified in terms of what the cloud actually does in a way that we can understand. And I think that's the thing, is there's a lot of information that's missing. There's a lot of information like, what is the cloud actually doing? We had that amount of destruction on Red Faction, we just didn't have the computational power to make the buildings more detailed, to make the buildings more of them, to make more NPCs on screen. Now we have the power with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. To me, it seems like the next logical step is a city, from what Red Faction was doing, from what Just Cause was doing. That seems like the next logical step. If that's 20 times the computational power of Xbox, that's not that impressive. They didn't have realistic destruction. If you saw how the buildings fell, a lot of chunks were falling off that were way too big. Way too big. You're talking Lego size. You're talking huge chunks of the building falling off, even though you're blasting it with a rocket launcher. So to me, it seems like very, very unrealistic destruction as of right now. Of course, this is pre-alpha footage, but I don't see what the cloud is actually doing. If that's 20 times the computational power of Xbox, we should have seen a whole demo of the whole city going down. I just don't see the technology being there yet. I really don't. Now, this doesn't mean that the cloud is fake. This doesn't mean that they aren't ever gonna find a way to make the cloud work that way. No, I'm just saying I don't see it yet. I just don't see it yet. That's not saying that the cloud doesn't help, because of course there are definitely things that the cloud does. Right now, I don't see it helping out in terms of games. I explained what GPU was in one of my earlier videos, where you offload the work from the CPU to the GPU, and I said that's where all the games were going. There's no reason why you wouldn't be able to add extra destruction or add extra bots. So, for me, I don't see it. I really don't see the 20 times the computational power. I may be wrong, but I still think Crackdown 3 is a game you're going to have to get. I still am very, very fascinated with Scalebound. I thought Quantum Break looked great. I thought Microsoft overall put on a great showing at Gamescom. I think Microsoft is headed in the right direction, and I think Microsoft has done a lot for the people that are still backing the Xbox. So for me, I still say everything's great in that camp. I told everybody that Nintendo, PlayStation, and Microsoft was going to have a great generation, and now we're starting to see the potential of this generation. Now everybody's starting to get excited. So get what you want to play on the systems that you want to play on, play the games you want to play, but don't listen to all these buzzwords like cloud processing and 1080p and 900p, and it's all clickbait, and it's not something that you need to be concerning yourself with. This has been Zero. Keep gaming, gamers, and I will see all of you guys and gals next time.